Welcome to our next lecture, Useful and Harmful Microbes. In first lecture, what we learned? Useful microbes, that is lactobacilli, yeast and rhizobia. Now see, in this lecture, I want to tell you first the production of alcohol. See, what is this alcohol? Often alcohol is produced along with sugar in sugar factories. Molasses is produced from sugarcane juice. It is rich in carbohydrates. You know, all of you know this molasses means what? Molasses, it is produced from the sugarcane of juice and it is rich in carbohydrates. Molasses is fermented with the help of yeast. It is called as saccharomyces. Fermentation of molasses. In this process, ethanol, that is C2H5OH, it is the formula of ethanol. Alcohol is produced as a primary product and ester and other alcohol is a secondary product. Means while this fermentation, first product is ethanol and this is the primary product. And second, ester and other alcohols are also produced. Spirit and other alcohols can be obtained from ethanol. Means in lab, chemistry lab, we use lamp, correct? Spirit lamp, and that spirit lamp is here. Means it is produced from this alcohol. So this spirit and other alcohol can be obtained from ethanol. So ethanol is also a smokeless and high quality fuel. Beside molasses, maize, barley and other grains are also used for the industrial production of ethanol. So glucose and fructose, the sugar present in grape juice, are also fermented with the help of yeast to produce the alcohol which is used for making wines. So these are some uses of useful microbes. Now see antibiotics. Antibiotics means what? Carbon compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms are called as antibiotics. Doctors are giving antibiotics, correct? So these antibiotics means the carbon compounds. And these carbon compounds are obtained from the bacteria and fungi for destroying the growth of harmful microorganisms. So these antibiotics, a discovery of the 20th century, has brought about a revolution in the field of medicine. Means who discovered these antibiotics? Even a disease like tuberculosis has been almost completely eradicated from some countries. So antibiotics mainly act against bacteria. Some antibiotics can destroy protozoa also. Some antibiotics are useful against a wide variety of bacteria and they are called as broad spectrum antibiotics. For example, see ampicillin, amphoxicillin, tetracycline, etc. These are the example of antibiotics. When the pathogen cannot be identified even though the symptoms of disease are visible, broad spectrum antibiotics are used. Again see this sentence, when the pathogen, that is microorganisms, cannot be identified even though the symptom of disease are visible, means we know the which disease is there, then also it can't be identified and then broad spectrum antibiotics are used. Whenever a pathogenic microorganisms is definitely known, then narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. Means here are two types of antibiotics. First, broad spectrum antibiotics and second one is narrow spectrum antibiotics. Example see penicillin, then gentamicin, erythromycin, etc. Now see the first antibiotic is penicillin. Penicillin is a group of antibiotics obtained from fungus penicillium. Means this penicillin antibiotics is obtained from the fungus and is used for controlling the infections caused by bacteria like Staphylococcus, Clostridia, then Streptococci, etc. Medicines containing penicillin are used to treat certain bacterial infection of the ear, nose, throat, skin, as well as diseases like pneumonia and scarlet fever. Means we are using this penicillin, correct, in the medicine. Now see which precautions we have to take while taking antibiotics. Antibiotics should be taken only when prescribed by a doctor. Means others are taking, that's why we are taking. It is wrong. So antibiotics should be taken only when doctor prescribed. Don't purchase any antibiotic from medical stores without prescription from a doctor. So don't consume antibiotics on your own to treat common diseases like throat infection, common cold or influenza. Means without prescription or without consultation, don't purchase the antibiotics. Even if you feel well before completing of the prescribed course of the antibiotic, you must continue and complete it. Means suppose in 1 or 2 days you are feeling good because of taking this, and you left these antibiotics. Means it is a half course, incompleted, correct? So you have to complete the course of the antibiotic. You must continue it. Then don't suggest to others the antibiotics which were useful to you. Suppose one antibiotic useful to you, means this antibiotic is useful not others, so you don't suggest to others also you take these antibiotics. Then see introduction to scientist. Alexander Fleming, a professor of microbiology at St. Mary's Hospital, had cultured variety of bacteria and fungi in petri dish in his lab. On 3rd September 1928, while observing Staphylococci culture, he made an interesting observation in one petri dish. All of you, means students, all of you see how the penicillin is discovered because of the scientist Alexander Fleming. See, in that petri dish, fungal colonies had grown, but the area around those colonies was clean and clear. That is, bacteria had actually been destroyed. Again see, in that petri dish, fungal colonies had grown, but the area around those colonies was clean and clear. That is, bacteria had actually been destroyed. Means after further studies, he confirmed that the fungus growing there was penicillin, and its secretion had destroyed the bacterial colonies. So the first antibiotic, penicillin, had been discovered accidentally, not purposely. It is discovered by accidentally, and this formed the basis for attempts to find cures for incurable diseases. So shouldn't we always be grateful to Alexander Fleming for discovering the life-saving antibiotics? So see, wonderful to know. Ants grow fungi in their, yes, termitarium, that is ant hill, and obtain food from it. You all of you see that ant hill, that ants grow fungi in their termitarium, that is ant hill, and obtain food from it. Some species of wasps and other insects lay their eggs in the fungal bodies growing on trees, and thus ensuring a food supply for their larvae. Now we will see harmful microorganisms. Which changes do you notice in leather articles and gunny jute bags during the rainy season? Yes, can you tell me this answer? In now it is rainy season. Which changes you observe on leather articles and gunny bags? Can anyone tell me which changes you observe? Yes, there is a fungal growth on these articles. Why there is a fungal growth on these articles? Hmm? Gunny bags also. Then leather article means purse, belt, shoes. Correct? Chappals also. Hmm? Why this happened? Why there is a growth? Hmm? For how long afterwards can you use those articles? And why do these articles not get spoiled during the summer or winter also? Here in this rainy season, yes, there is a moisture and humidity, and the climate is suitable to grow the fungus or bacteria. Correct? For how long afterwards can you use those articles? Why do these articles not get spoiled during the summer, in summer and winter? Yes, temperature is very high. That's why bacterial growth is reduced or fungal growth is reduced. Correct? Hmm? This leather and gunny articles made up of jute. Correct? And the spores of this fungus cover the surface of these microbes. How long afterwards can you use those articles? Yes, these articles do not remain usable because there is a tremendous wear and tear of this material. So we can't use this. They do not last long. And here in summer or winter, what I told you, surrounding temperature is very high, and due to heat, fungus cannot reproduce. The low temperature of winter also are unfavorable for the fungal growth. Understood? Now see, first one is fungi. Microscopic spores of fungi are present in the air. In all around us, there are microbes. So these microscopic spore of fungi are present in the air. If there is a sufficient moisture, spore germinate on cotton fabric, gunny bags, leather, wooden items, etc. Understood? Where fungi grows, sufficient moisture is there, then only. Means which? Cotton fabric, gunny bags, leather and wooden items also. The fungal hyphae, that is fibers on the fungus, penetrate deep into the material to obtain nutrition and to reproduce. They obtain the nutrition, and after obtaining nutrition they reproduce, and this causes the material to wear and become weak, and that's why these materials, cotton fabric, gunny bags, leather, wooden, become weak. And as a result, gunny bags, leather items like shoes, purses, belts, etc., on which fungi have grown, do not last long, and wooden items also get spoiled. Various species of fungi grow on food items like pickles, muramba, jam, sauce, chutney, etc. They use the nutrients in these food items for the growth and reproduction. Means these food stuffs, pickles, muramba, jam, these are nutritious. And when fungi grows on these food items, they use the nutrients and reproduce. Correct? So, during this activity, fungi release mycotoxins, certain poisonous chemicals into the food, and thus food becomes poisonous. So if there is a fungi, burshi, in Marathi what we can say, it is a burshi, pickle, muramba, jam, when there is a fungal growth on these foodstuffs, it becomes poisonous. Because why? Fungi release mycotoxins and food become poisonous, and hence the food on which fungi have grown cannot be eaten. See here, harmful microorganism is a Clostridium. See, Clostridium tetani. Some species of this Clostridium. Clostridium furfingus. Then Clostridium botulinum. And last one is Clostridium difficile. These are some harmful microorganisms. Clostridium species. Sometimes cases of food poisoning occurring during community feast. How does the food become poisonous all of a sudden? Some in a function, we are celebrating more functions, and in that function, what happens suddenly? Food becomes poisonous. Why it become? The bacteria which spoil cooked food are Clostridium. Because of this Clostridium, food gets spoiled. Out of 100 different species of this bacterium, some are free living in the soil. Listen carefully. About this 100 different species are there, and some are free living in the soil, whereas some live in the alimentary canal of human and other animals. These bacteria are rod-shaped and produce bottle-shaped endospores in adverse conditions. One special characteristic of these bacteria is that they cannot withstand the normal oxygen level of the air because they grow in anaerobic condition. Means these Clostridium or harmful bacteria grow without oxygen. It is called the anaerobic condition. So, other harmful microorganisms. Do only the Clostridium bacteria cause illness? Means there is only one bacteria microorganism, that is Clostridium, is harmful? No. Other kinds of microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, protozoa and fungi are also responsible for the different diseases that affect human. You have learned about viruses, which are smaller than bacteria and can grow and reproduce only in living cell. In 8th standard you studied about viruses. Let us see how they are harmful to us. See the chart, means how the disease spread by the virus. First name is AIDS. AIDS spread by pathogen which virus. Mode of infection through blood and semen of infected person and milk of mother suffering from AIDS. Preventive measures: safe sexual contact, avoid reuse of needles and injections. Second C, hepatitis, that is jaundice. It is also spread through virus. So mode of precaution is what? Contaminated water and food. Mode of infection means it is caused due to contaminated water and food. Preventive measures, what we have to take? Clean and filter water, proper storage of food. Then influenza. Virus contact with infected person. What we have to do? Personal hygiene and avoiding contact with infected person. Then measles and chickenpox. You know this, measles and chickenpox. It is also caused by virus. So mode of infection, it is also by contact with infected person. Vaccination, then uncontaminated water and clean food. Then bird flu and swine flu. Bird flu means H7N9 and swine flu H1N1. It is also caused by virus. Contact with infected birds and animals. When the birds and animals are infected, then swine flu and bird flu cause. Personal hygiene, properly cooked meat. Then dengue. You know dengue? It is also caused by virus, mosquito bite. Cleaning of surroundings, preventing stagnation of water and mosquito control. Next, pneumonia. It is caused by bacteria. Droplets spread in air by infected person. What is the preventive measure? Vaccination, avoiding contact with infected person. Then leprosy. It is also by bacteria. Long-term contact with infected person. Leprosy, you know, leprosy means what? Skin disease. It is a skin disease. And when we come in contact with long-term infected person, so what we have to do? Avoid contact with infected person and their belonging also. Then chlorella. It is also by bacteria. Contaminated food and water. So eat clean food and water. Then malaria. It is by protozoa. Mosquito bite, unclean surrounding. So cleanliness of surrounding, preventing stagnation of water means no need to store the water, controlling mosquito, because storing of water mosquitoes are feeding. Then dandruff, ringworm and scabies. These are caused by fungi. So contact with infected person or his or her belongings like clothes. Personal hygiene, avoiding contact with infected person. Now see, salt is applied on the inner surface of pickle jars and the pickle is covered with oil. Why is this done? You think about it. Why salt is applied in the inner surface of pickle jar and the pickle is covered with oil? While making pickles and jam, sugar and salt is added. Why it is? Because sugar and salt are preservatives. Correct? These are preservatives. Now, which preservatives mix with ready to eat food to keep them from spoiling? We are eating that ready to eat food. Correct? After 5 months, 6 months. Which type of preservatives they added? They added chemical preservatives. Correct? So find out the use of fungi to plants and animals and what is the structure of lichen, a condiment, and where else it is used. See the picture. See the picture of this lichen plant. Correct? What is this? It is a lichen plant and it is a condiment. Condiment means what? Yes, condiment means spice. Condiment means spice. It is used as a, yes, it is used in the hmm, home. Correct? It is a spice. Again, I want to explain this. Salt is applied on the inner surface of pickle jar and pickle is covered with oil, because why? Fungal growth and fungal growth is arrested. बरोबर? Sorry, fungal growth is arrested because of this oil and sugar. And these are the means salt and sugar is the natural preservatives. Hmm? These are the natural preservatives. And here ready to eat, which type of preservatives? Chemical preservatives. For example, which? Sodium nitrite, then sulfides and sodium benzoate. Which? Sodium nitrite, sulfides and sodium benzoate. Okay, understood? Means in this lesson what we learned about the harmful bacteria, then about alcohol, about antibiotics. Hmm? Understood lesson? Yes, okay. Thank you.